But I want to start off the top of today's show with something that we swore we wouldn't talk about again, which is Manchester United. But we'll do a quick segment on it because I think it's important. Manchester United, Liverpool won 4-0, 5-0. And
You went to sleep at 4-0, so you wouldn't know.
To be honest, went to sleep at 2-0. And I didn't know what the score was. I went to sleep and I was like, maybe I'll wake up and it was like Atalanta. But at the same time, it was not. And my dad called me and his first question, I went, hello. And he went, are you okay?
Good parenting.
Good parenting. I was not okay. It was a terrible performance. I want to ask you, last week's show, we talked about how Ole usually is able to find results, right? Like goes on a bad run. Next thing you know, he's beating Man City at the Etihad because Luke Shaw's run down the left wing and scored a goal. Is there anything salvageable from this moment? Because the Atalanta performance wasn't great. This one is shambolic. Is there a way back for him now?
There shouldn't be, but maybe due to the apathy at the club and the lack of a director of football and the lack of football knowledge in the club hierarchy above Ole, there might be. It's crazy to me that the Comunicado Oficial hasn't arrived yet and he hasn't been sent packing, because that's a sackable performance. Especially in this context. It's almost a sackable performance regardless of context.
Yeah.
But the thing I found really interesting was watching the Class of 92 pundits on the various TV channels try and wiggle their way out of saying he needs to go. Paul Scholes, to his credit, probably came the closest to it.
Gary Neville can't say it.
Gary Neville was doing all sorts of mental and maybe literal gymnastics to try and avoid saying Ole has to go. It was extraordinary to watch. It really is the clearest example of United exceptionalism among that class of 92 and that group of players who played under Sir Alex Ferguson, because they see the long-term safe pair of hands manager as crucial to the club's identity. But it's really only maybe 2 eras. Busby, which was a long time ago, and Sir Alex. And you're not going to find another Sir Alex Ferguson.
No.
It's just not going to happen.
No.
So trying to chase that dream is unhelpful. And the idea that United shouldn't go and hire a proven world-class coach like, say, Antonio Conte to whip this sorry squad into shape, the idea that they shouldn't go out and do that is crazy to me.
Yeah, and it's baffling. And I'll give you 3 reasons why I knew that we were going to lose this morning. Right? First one, at 4-0 down at halftime, you come out with the exact same formation, with the exact same ideas, thinking that you could fit a square block into a round hole.
I mean, Pogba sort of came in to make a midfield 3, but he was quickly on his way.
Yeah, so I mean, between you and me, no real change there.
And it's not as if Paul Pogba is going to stabilise the team and provide defensive cover.
No, and I just don't understand where the coaching is, like the tactical nous. Like, it's where is that? Like, I get, like, the class on 92, it's your mate and all that kind of thing, but at some point you have to call it for what it is, which is it's not good. It's just not good.
This is not good enough. I mean, and the idea that United could go out with 4 forwards who had little to no defensive remit, playing a 4-2-4 with McFred isolated and running, chasing their tail, running in circles, trying to mark up midfield players. I mean, it's just, there's a real lack of joined up thinking there. And I think it demonstrates just how out of his depth Ole Gunnar Solskjaer really is. The idea that formation and that game plan was going to work against Liverpool the way it worked.
The kings of pressing.
Yeah. And a really modern team, well coached, well drilled, with 11 players who are all involved in both the attacking and defensive phases of the game to try and play sort of 6 defenders and 4 attackers with no one in between is insane to me. And, it's harking back to a era of football that has long since passed United by.
Second point, Harry Maguire did the post-match press conference, and he said something that really annoyed me, which was, they were like, thanks for coming to do the thing and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. And then he's just like, I have to be here. And it's not that, like, you can say it in a way that's like, I have to be here in a sense of like, and I want to be here. I'm the captain of Manchester United. But the way he said it was kind of like, I got to be here. And I think that's annoying because he's the captain of the club. You'd expect the captain of the club to want to front up to the media, to the fans at this point in time. And sure, he did the apology tour and all that kind of thing. But the thing is, like, look like you want to be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Even if you do feel that way, you can't show it.
For sure. And I get it. You know, I'm not Harry Maguire, but at this point in time, you're making me look like just as good as you. You know, and Van der Vaart said that he sees Harry Maguire's play on Sunday League every fucking Sunday on the weekend. And at this point in time, it's like you spent 80 mil on this kind of player, and Virgil van Dijk is like a different level and was cheaper.
Yeah.
And the third thing, and this is the most telling, which was when they walk out, right? You know how they walk out now, like the away team first in a line and then the home team because of COVID and all that kind of thing. So Liverpool comes out straight as an arrow, everyone behind each other, you know, just like perfectly drilled line.
I don't know what I've been told.
That's right. And then United come out, shambolic. I mean, what is going on with that line? You can't play a 4-2-4. I thought you could at least do a line formation. They couldn't even do that. They were like Ronaldo's teeth when he signed for the club. Do you remember that? Like, there's famous things of like before Ronaldo was like Ronaldo, and then like after he was Ronaldo, and he was like an absolute like, you know, whatever.
Cheap shot.
You know, but it's just you can't. Like, I don't get it. You know, and so much of the game is mental, right? Like. And you know, when we play Churches League, you think about like, we want to be louder than we want to do the drills before the game better. And like, you want to look organized because it's like that little 1%. And I'm not saying Churches League is the same as Premier League, so don't get at me, but
it's all football. It's the same kind of body language, you know, the same kind of intimidation tactics are crucial. I mean, think of all those clips of Patrick Vieira fronting up to people, fronting people in the tunnel. I mean, you know, there was an entire era at Arsenal where the away team was scared when they walked out.
Yeah, and there's just none of that anymore at Old Trafford. And seeing them walk out in that kind of like lackluster, shambolic, like unorganized line that they're called. You look on my Instagram, right? Like I did a clip. The line was like whatever at the beginning. And then it gets to the end of the line and it's Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo and Rashford walking side by side, which is, last time I checked, not a straight line. So that's how I knew we weren't going to do well against Liverpool.
And I think that was reflected in the game with Luke Shaw's interpretation of an offside trap. So insane.
But anyway, that's all we're going to talk about on the United front. I just wanted to bring those things up, my observations, which again, not tactical, but at the same time, not good either.
Insanely underprepared. Just, you said it, shambolic. And I don't think we're likely to see another sort of big six team front up in such a naive fashion in a game for the rest of the season.